trade you a Paul Molitor for a Tony Gwynn.
Okay.
What? I'm worth 2 Molitors.
No way. This guy's been out in the sun too long.
Check out the stats. 329 lifetime batting average and 4 batting titles.
I was breaking World Series records when he was still a rookie.
Official Major League Baseball cards from Donruss, Fleer, Score, and Upper Deck make all your favorite players come alive.
You want a fair trade? Me for 2 of him and a Jim Abbott.
Hey, I resent that.
Coming up, the all-time baseball card auction record is up for grabs. One Hall of Fame pitcher gets mistaken for another, and my colleague Carlos Pena enters the Hall of Fame baseball card exhibit. All of that and more next on MLB's Carded.
Out of here! It's gone! Back it goes. It is caught! Holy cow! Unbelievable.
Welcome back to a Hall of Fame episode of MLB's Carded. The National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York is a special place where you can see all kinds of memorabilia from baseball's incredible history. It even has an exhibit dedicated to baseball cards. It's called Shoebox Treasures. And our friend Carlos Pena got a very special tour of this cornucopia of cardboard.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Carlos Pena, and I'm here at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. They have this unbelievable baseball card exhibit called Shoebox Treasures, and I'm here with John Odell, the curator in the museum. Please take me around.
The best thing about Shoebox Treasures is that the designer took all sorts of baseball card design elements, and then we put them together with the great stories so that you have a great experience. This is where you know you're coming into the Hall of Fame. It starts right here with the pink slabs of bubble gum. They're not really bubble gum, but they're pink tiles, but it's made to represent like you're going into a baseball pack. So you come in, lots of old and new cards. These are all blown up just to let you know, hey, you're in the right place. Right over here, this is the custom cards area. So you get a chance to create your own baseball cards because we've been talking about baseball cards, right? You'll touch to begin.
All right, so here we go.
Now you get your best baseball pose and stare. Right down here is the camera. You see right down here? And then you'll say, take my photo.
Hey, there you go. Dude, this is so cool.
All right, and now go straight to your email.
All right.
So
let me check.
all right.
There it is.
I told you.
There it is.
Cards are not just baseball cards. Here's a variety of other different kinds of cards. Wacky packs are in here. Back of cereal boxes, posters that would come in the pack. So that's what we've got going on here. A lot of different kinds of cards, and they were all manufactured in different kinds of ways. And so this area talks about the old tobacco cards, the ones that started this whole thing off because they wanted you to buy more cigarettes.
So this is kind of like the evolution of
That's exactly right.
the baseball card and
That's what
the
we wanted to
industry,
do.
per
The
se,
industry,
collecting
that's right.
industry.
Here's the Topps versus Bowman. There was a big bubble gum war back in the 1950s. Topps versus Bowman. Which one do you like better? And people decided they liked Topps better. Topps is still around. Bowman got bought out by Topps. Now when you see a Bowman card, it's actually a Topps card. Photographers, Doug McWilliams is one of the photographers who helped shoot all these cards. We talk about the different elements that go into baseball cards. The portraits, the different kinds of poses, action, putting statistics on the back of the card. They started off just with bios.
You see all these beautiful, cards, you got the action shots and all that, but the key is when you flip it around and you get the background information of the player.
Right.
I love that.
This is one of the great things. People started using baseball cards as the springboard for other kinds of art. Here's Sandy Koufax. This is actually made up of baseball cards. This is a collage made up of baseball
I can
cards.
see it. That looks so cool. These are a bunch of, you can almost see different parts of faces.
Yes.
Here. Like you see a nose here, mouth here, smile here, the eyes here, and then if you back away, it looks like just a portrait. So this is kind of like looking at the baseball card industry and collection of cards as an art form.
That's right. That's exactly right. The thing that distinguished baseball cards for so many years was not the value of the card. So what did you do with all your doubles and triples when you couldn't trade them for anything else? You put them in your bicycle and grab a hold of that crank right there and make the motorcycle sound.
Well, I'm not sure, kids out there know about this. I mean, you grab a card, you clip it right here to the back of your bike, and then, now that's what I'm talking about. This is making your bicycle into a motorcycle. Look, it certainly doesn't make you go any faster, John, but at least it feels like you're going faster.
That's right. Down here, the cards your mother threw away.
Oh.
So the cards your mother threw away, this goes from the 1800s all the way up to this year. Pull out a drawer, and you get a chance to see.
Hey, wait a second. Hey, this is me right here.
It is you.
Oh, I
It is
see you
you.
working. Did you know that I was there?
I knew you were there, but I didn't know you were coming here. We put that in 2 years ago when we opened up this exhibit.
That is so cool. Now, my question is, why did Mom throw away my card?
Well, she wanted us to keep it. Now, this is where we end. The Holy Grails, these are the primo cards of the collection. Not just of our collection, but of anybody's collection. Press this top button right here, and it will send an electric current through this glass and turn it from black to clear and put a light on it.
Oof. Honus Wagner, 1909 to 1911, the white border card.
Right.
This is unbelievable.
After about 30 seconds, it goes dark again, and you know why? Because it helps
You're trying to
preserve
protect
it.
it? Preserve it.
Trying to protect it. That's exactly right.
Would you say that that is the most precious card in the entire Hall of Fame and museum?
I would say yes, but there are none that are as famous as this.
Yes, sir. This is awesome right here. Thank you so much
Oh,
for
absolutely.
taking me around. This is so cool, so much history. I hope all of you enjoyed that. And make sure you come and check it out for yourselves, all right?
Sure, there are many baseball cards that are sought after by collectors, but that Honus Wagner T206 card is the holy grail. There's only around 60 of these cards still in existence today. Recently, one of the finest examples of the T206 Wagner went up for auction. Here's what makes this card so special and why many believed it could set a new record sale price for a single baseball card.
The T206 Honus Wagner is the Mona Lisa of baseball card collecting. It's part of one of the most legendary, the most popular, the most widely known baseball card sets ever made. And so for the better part of 110 years or more, the T206 and the Honus Wagner has been captivating collectors across all generations. This card is, simply put, just one of the finest known. Its condition, its appearance, its story. It was discovered in Long Island in 1973. It was sold at auction, one of the first Wagner cards, if not the first Wagner cards ever to be auctioned. It sold for $1,100 at that time. Not an insignificant amount of money, but only about $6,000 or $7,000 in today's dollars. It was kept by a collector for a number of years as the centerpiece of his collection, and then it was sold to Barry Halper. Barry Halper is a very famous collector known throughout all the collecting circles. He kept it for over a decade before trading it to another collector who kept it for 30 years and then sold it in 2012. So it's only had a handful of owners, which is very special because we can trace its lineage. And when there aren't that many of them known, that's one of the special things about this card. You can kind of piece together its history. When you compare it to a Stradivarius violin or an Action #1 comics or an inverted Jenny, I mean, these are the collectibles that just have that icon status. And so whoever buys this card is going to be in a very rare club with one of the world's best collectibles. And frankly, they're going to have a very good investment piece. This is a card that has never gone down in value. It'll be worth more the day after the auction, and they're going to be in for a great treat.
Record officially broken. Even with baseball card values skyrocketing, this one's gonna be tough to beat. You know, Brian brought that actual card into MLB Network, and yes, some of the people here got to hold a $6.6 million piece of cardboard in their hand. Somehow, I was not one of them. Coming up on this Hall of Fame edition of Carded, we talk baseball cards with Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins next.
Wrigley Field, August 20th, 1971, a fifth straight 20-game season for Ferguson Jenkins.
He got it. That's it. 7 strikeouts for Fergie. There's number 20 of the year for the 6th consecutive year. The famous Cy Young Award winner of the Chicago Cubs has won 20 games, and he'll win more.
The 3-5 A historic moment for Chicago Cubs baseball.
My induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame into Cooperstown is not an honor I receive alone. It represents the challenges and opportunities of my career and the love and support of my family and friends, teammates, and fans. Thank you very much.
Cy Young Award winner, Chicago Cubs all-time strikeout leader, 7-time 20-game winner, first Canadian elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. With such a distinguished 19-year career, Fergie Jenkins appeared on a lot of baseball cards. But did you know that in addition to appearing on cards, he's also one of us? He joins us now on Carded. Fergie, so good to see you. We've seen you be doing all these pack rips all over social media and constantly posting about baseball cards. What is that all about, and what makes baseball cards so special to you?
I'm just staying in tune with what's going on in the world. And, you know, today, if you're not in the media, not doing much.
That's right. What is it about baseball cards that make them so special? Why do you enjoy doing that?
Well, the biggest thing is I started collecting when I was a kid. O-Pee-Chee was a Canadian hockey league, and then the Canadian football. But I didn't start in the U.S. until I had signed professionally as a ball player. And when I got my first rookie card, and I've got it here with me.
Let's take a peek at that.
1966 with Billy Sorrell.
Oof. Now, do you need someone to like hold on to that for a while? I could do that for you, Fergie.
I got 30 plus of these.
Okay, you've got one to spare. I'd love to get my hands on one of those. You grew up in rural Canada, so were baseball cards like a hot commodity there?
Not really. You know, because of the fact that I played hockey as a youngster, I followed the Montreal Canadiens. And because Detroit's really close to my hometown, Chatham, the Red Wings, Gordie Howe, Ted Lindsay, Terry Sawchuk, a lot of these guys were on baseball, on hockey cards, and then the CFL and football. But I really didn't get into it, really, I think, honestly, until I had signed professionally as a ball player.
So you showed us your rookie card. Is that your favorite Ferguson Jenkins card?
Oh, no, I got a couple. The 69 card was very important to me, along with the 71 with Topps winning the Cy Young. And then again, when I got traded to the Texas Rangers, where I had a chance to win 25 ball games with the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, was there a pose in an image on the card where you were like, I look good?
Oh, well, this card here, they took it at Shea Stadium with a good friend of mine who passed away, Billy Sorrell. We signed together in 1962 with the Phillies.
That's great. That means a lot. Now, on the other side of it, is there your least favorite card? Is there a card where you're like, it's like a side profile, I'm not a big fan?
Well, in I think it was 73, Barney Sterling was taking pictures for the ball club, you know, for basically for the catalog. And he wanted me to take my hat off. And I had grown an afro. And you have a hat on, your afro's all crunched. They put it on a baseball card, on a Topps card, but you couldn't do anything about it. Millions of them went out there. So, hey, it was just something I didn't get a chance to groom my hair.
That's like my worst nightmare. And I'm not kidding. An image of me with messed up hair that goes out to the masses? Oh, my goodness. I wake up in a cold sweat, Fergie. You're at all of these signing shows, and you love to go to them. But when I've seen you at a couple, you love interacting with the fans, don't you? What is it about that experience?
Well, the biggest thing, you get youngsters to come up and they're with their father or with one of their parents, and they really don't know who you are, but I try to introduce myself to them. Tell them, hey, I play with the Chicago Cubs. This appearance is in Chicago, and this is a place where really I won a lot of ball games. And I just try to make them feel at ease. And I ask them, do you want a Hall of Fame induction date on it, or you want the strikeouts or Cy Young, something that's going to enhance their photograph or their baseball card.
That's great. So let me ask you this. When you open up a pack today, because you were doing it on social media, compared to when you were doing it as a youngster, does it still bring up the same kind of emotions, or is the more mature Fergie going, oh, this is nice?
Well, you know what? I see fellow athletes I played with or against, And some of these rookie cards that you get, I'm quite surprised. I got a Jordan rookie card one time, opened up a pack. I'm trying to think of some of the other. Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, my goodness.
Card. So, it's a surprise a lot of times when you open it up and boom, there's a card that you don't have, you haven't seen, and it's worth a little money.
Yeah. Have you been paying attention to how this industry is blown up? What do you and the other Hall of Famers think of that?
The Hall of Famers, I've asked a few guys. Boggs collects cards along with Randy Johnson. There's a few other individuals that enjoy opening up a pack of cards, tops, or buying a seal pack and just holding on to them.
Now, I know you guys chat a lot in Cooperstown, and I just, you're not going to go change your signature. I love the way you sign your name. I think there is a skill behind it, and you actually, I've watched you do it. You take your time and you do it well. Some of your Hall of Fame teammates do not do that. Have you noticed it? Have you noticed it?
Yes, definitely. I'll give you an interesting scenario. Harmon Killebrew. I did a show with Harmon. Harmon told me, write your signature so they can read it. Right. These youngsters want to know who you are. They want to be able to read your signature. And I practiced making the F is like a 2, my J is like an 8. And it didn't take me long to come up with a really enhanced signature that it's recognizable and you can read it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. No, I really do. I'm not just making that up. It's a great signature. Okay, before we let you go, I want to know more about the Fergie Jenkins Foundation. Give us details.
Well, it started in '94 with the Red Cross. I did a golf outing, a celebrity golf outing, and I invited a lot of different celebrities, Bob Gibson, Bob Feller, Harmon Killebrew, so many different players that I had seen at other golf outings. And I asked them, would they come to mine and donate money or just donate their time to the Red Cross charity? And a lot of them came. I had 35 celebrities from football, basketball, hockey, and baseball. And the second golf outing, I basically said, I'm going to add 2 more charities. My mother died of cancer, and she was blind. She had got glaucoma when she was really young. And when I was born in childbirth, it took a lot of her sight. So I added those 2 other charities, and we had 3 for several years, just those 3 charities, raising money and donating it.
That's wonderful. Have you ever used baseball cards to help raise funds for the foundation?
We've had some people come there and give us cards and want them to put them in an auction so that they could raise money. And I've done that a few times. Okay. Only myself. I haven't asked the other players to donate their cards, but just some of my cards, we put them in a pack of 5 or 6 and add a Hall of Fame baseball signature to it and try to maybe make $300 or $400. And a lot of times they sell pretty good.
Yeah, no, especially a Ferguson Jenkins card because your signature is so beautiful. Which, by the way, next time you're in Cooperstown, just have those guys pay attention to the effort you put into that. Please do.
I can do that. I'll ask them.
Okay. Ferguson Jenkins.
There's some guys that really, they want to get it over with quick.
I know.
A teammate of mine, Ryan Sandberg, he had a good signature at one time. Now it's all circles.
I've seen that. Yeah, it's kind of you have no idea what it is, but you have to have a picture of him signing it just to know that that's his signature.
Who it is. Or put his number or his name underneath it.
Right. It was so great catching up with you, Fergie. I love talking baseball cards with you. I'll see you the next time I'm in Cooperstown, okay?
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Take care.
When you're teammates with someone for over 15 years, you tend to develop some similarities, like winning Cy Young awards or World Series championships or being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Still, though, it's hard to confuse John Smoltz with Tom Glavine. Or is it?
The man of the hour tonight at Fulton County Stadium is 21-year-old John Smoltz.
1989, coming off of my first year in '88, didn't know what to expect. Team wasn't in the right direction yet. Personally, I ended up having a great first half and going to the All-Star game. So the year was a little unexpected for me. And then as far as the baseball cards go, you never know what shot they're going to take. So it is kind of a surprise when you see your card because
they don't really tell you, and you don't really know what kind of action shot or picture or how the card's going to look. So the 1990 Donruss card has the name but doesn't have the picture. That would be Tom Glavine, and obviously my name on the front of that card. And you know, when the card came out, Tommy said, "That's the best looking card you've ever had." And I replied quickly, "Well, that's the best stats you've ever had," because at the point of 1989, going to the All-Star game, that was my only rebuttal for what I could come back with Tommy, and obviously Hall of Famer, and I got a chance to join him. So truly a pretty unique card. This is a pretty popular card when either at a card show or when you think about the two of us represented on the front, we try to get those cards where both of us sign them, and I try to sign right across his face. That's what's so unique about the card and the two of us. You know, we spent 15 years together. Tommy, of course, got called up earlier because of my trade. You know, I always think about what my trade did for me personally, but he always reminds me what it did for him. It opened up a spot for him to get called up in the big leagues. So there's probably nobody else that I can think of that Chipper Jones would be second. We spent probably the second most years together, but yeah, Tommy and I are linked for a long time.
It's hard to say who had the better career as they both wound up in Cooperstown, but only one has an office not too far from mine here at MLB Network. Now, speaking of Hall of Fame pitchers, Nolan Ryan put up numbers from the mound unlike anybody before him, and it's safe to say nobody has done it the same ever since. His sheer dominance will never be forgotten, but one collector has over 13,000 pieces of Nolan Ryan memorabilia in case anyone needs a reminder.
Cards are everywhere. That's life for a collector. I think it has become probably by far the largest collection of Nolan Ryan cards and memorabilia. The collection entails a little bit over 13,500 items. Of those, there are 8,500 cards, and of those, I have about 1,250 that are signed by Nolan. Here we have a Venezuelan rookie card. This is perhaps the most valuable card there is of Nolan Ryan. I was born in Holland in 1939. At age 3.5, the Germans took over Holland, and a year and a half after the war, we decided to come to America. Among the first people to interact with us was my Aunt Grace. And Aunt Grace, who was born in Brooklyn and was very Brooklynese, decided that to become American, I should go to baseball games. So Aunt Grace took me to Ebbets Field, starting in 1948. I, of course, became a rabid Dodger fan. I loved the Dodgers. They were exciting. They were thrilling. Ebbets Field was great. Aunt Grace would take me to the game. We'd walk up the ramp. Pee Wee Reese would be talking to a reporter. Aunt Grace would yell out, "Pee Wee, it's Aunt Grace from Albany with my nephew Leo." And Pee Wee would turn around and say, "Hi, Auntie Grace." It was a different era. When the Dodgers moved to Los Angeles, it took a piece of my heart. But the Mets did come. I became a fan of the Mets at the very moment that they really started in '62, I guess it was. It was a natural for those of us who lost the Dodgers. In '67, it was the start of Nolan Ryan's career, sort of. He was brought in, but he didn't even make a rookie card for that year. But importantly, he won a game in the '69 World Series. And the '69 Mets have remained icons in Met lore. So I started as a collector, and Nolan Ryan fit into that picture as an object of collecting. Nolan Ryan is and probably always will be the ultimate power pitcher. His records are phenomenal. And everybody knows that he's had 7 no-hitters, 383 strikeout records for a season. He has 5,714 strikeouts, and those records will never be broken. These are all the cards going back basically to 1969. Some are one-ofs. Some have these inserts of pieces of shirts and gloves and hats and bats and so forth. But you see, there are an awful lot of them, and some of them look to be pretty good. I've always been quite close to Stockton University in South Jersey. Very few people know much about Stockton. It's on a beautiful campus of thousands of acres. My contact there was that I originally was the head of the Anne Frank Center in the U.S. for many years, and its chairman for many years. And I arranged a exhibit of Anne Frank at the Shore Mall in Atlantic City, and that's where I met the people from the Holocaust Resource Center at Stockton University. That's a wonderful place for me to land the exhibit, the Nolan Ryan exhibit. These cards are all unofficial cards, and I happen to like them because they sometimes match Nolan Ryan here with George Foreman. Whatever the relationship of Ryan with Foreman, I don't know. What is so special about baseball cards, I think, is that it's a corporeal embodiment of the American sport. And there's nothing like the American love for baseball players. It's still there. So that's special for me.
Well, if you're going to focus on one player, who better than the Ryan Express? And Leo, thank you for allowing this amazing collection to be displayed at Stockton University so we can all enjoy what you spent so many years putting together. Well, that does it for this Hall of Fame edition of Carded, except for one last thing, of course. A Hall of Fame pack rip. Take it away, Smoltzy.
All right, we got a couple packs of the 1989 Topps card. You can see they're not open, so I have no idea what's inside. I know the gum's inside, but I'm going to open them up and see what kind of players we're able to see here. There's the gum. Not going to eat it right now, but save it for later. So we're going to start out with Tim Burke, pitcher for the Expos. Wally Backman, that was my debut against the Mets. Lucky enough to win on Tom Seaver Day, faced Wally Backman with the Mets. They were loaded that year. Danny Jackson, faced Danny Jackson, both with the Reds, the Phillies. Unfortunately, the Phillies beat us in 1993. And, of course, Goose Gossage. Who could not know about Goose Gossage? He played long enough that our careers overlapped, and now we're in the Hall of Fame together. Pretty cool. Mike Heath. Mike Heath came over from the Oakland Athletics to the Atlanta Braves, so Mike caught me with the Atlanta Braves, so that's pretty cool there to see his card there. He was good at calling games. He was a veteran guy, I was a young guy, so he brought a lot of experience to me, and I picked his brain a lot. Bob Horner with the Atlanta Braves. Now, our paths didn't cross, but pretty close. I was there as he was ending his career. Jesse Orosco pitched till he was 65 years old, I think. Not really, but he pitched for a long time, and a great reliever. Of course, the glove threw up in the air when the Mets won. Corey Schneider, one of the most talented young players to come in the game. Rick Honeycutt. Now, we know Rick Honeycutt as a pitching coach, but pretty darn good pitcher back in the day. And Kevin Elster. Faced him in the minor leagues and faced him, of course, with the Mets all those years that the Atlanta Braves played the New York Mets. So there you have it, reminiscing down memory lane. Luckily, my memory's still there for some of these guys, but when you have baseball cards like I did as a kid growing up in a collection, it's pretty cool when you can go back and see the cards of the past.